How are you doing?
We've been really busy with this car. It's what keeps us busy, I guess.
Yeah.
We don't really do work for anybody. We help people out. Since 2018, for the most part, we just we went into our cave and put a rock in front of the hole, and that's where we've been.
You was just in Michigan a week or so ago, wasn't you?
Yes, it was first of the month, so yeah. I guess almost 2 weeks now.
Driving a Beretta.
This car's been 3 years in the making. It's been a project. It was at 2 chassis shops, and both places did really bad with it.
Oh, no.
So late January, March, April, late April, we went and got it from a body shop.
Oh, no.
And we brought it home and started working on it back here on the floor. And we ended up undoing nearly everything that had been done by the second place. Just a lot of work. Shit, I didn't want to be a chassis shop, but we became one.
You have to take control to get it right, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's right. It's there's a lot of patches in it to just cover up a lot of the, for lack of anything else, shoddy work that was done. Mm-hmm. A lot of things have been moved. I don't do work quite as pretty as other people. I'm not going to a car show. I'm just trying to make it work for what I'm wanting to do.
Right.
We haven't had, let's see, we've had 3 small blocks, and I got a Hemi sitting in it right now, a 500-inch Hemi.
Yeah.
And I call it Frankenscoop. I took hood scoops from a lot of the blow-ups in the past, and there's remnants of 7 different hood scoops in this hood scoop.
Any of them the Mickey Thompson car?
All of them were that car. So that we could just so the guy who, Mark Young is his name, mm-hmm. That made all of this happen. He just become like a fairy godfather to us. It started off really mostly with my mother. Mm-hmm. We had a tornado come through here. She had no power, and he sent guys up here and put generators around her house so she didn't do without power. And then an oven went out. She couldn't find the oven she wanted. Well, he found it and brought it up here, and he and I put it in. And then her air conditioning went out, and he sent guys up here and put a new air conditioning unit in. What happened is in 2017 when I crashed, mm-hmm. We went to Haltech with the red Camaro to just get a fix on what we had going on. And my dad was sick. I had just crashed. And we went down there to run on the dyno with Barnhill. He said, be here around 4 o'clock. And by 4:30, we'll be on. You'll be out of here by 9 o'clock. So we got there early, like we always do. And about 9:30 that night, this thing's been on there the whole time, popping and banging and missing and carrying on. I finally walked inside that building, asked what was going on. And nobody could figure it out. So I asked to look at spark plugs. I looked at spark plugs. I didn't like what those were, so I gave him some different plugs, and that didn't fix it. So I told him he had a fuel delivery problem. I asked him to bring his fuel filter to me, so he did. I was sitting outside in the trailer. And I said, well, this isn't the problem, so you must be fuel injectors. Well, he had Bosch 150s, I think, in it. So I just happened to have a set, put those in it, and it picked up 700 horsepower. And
it was thirsty.
Well, and it just went, it kind of snowballed from there. I ended up working on his engine, and then I went to the races and helped him at the races. They won a race. They got to the finals a few times and won one. He said he wanted to go racing with Shannon and I. Mm-hmm. Well, he puts on an event in the warm months, and it's at Ohio Valley. It's on the south end of Louisville. Terry Huff, Cheryl Huff racetrack, and the rules are steel roof and quarters and no billet, and nothing from there. Well, my old black car, we do still have it, but it just it wasn't built to go, low fours. It has, but it
don't like it, but it's doing it.
Well, it does it, but if I had the same accident I had in 2017, the end result probably wouldn't be as favorable.
Right.
And I'm not as brave as I should be smarter. So I told him we can't use that car, and the red car wasn't. Well, we had sold the red car, and he found this car and bought it sight unseen, sent it here. Oh my goodness! This car was built in the late '80s.
Oh gosh!
And it didn't even have an anti-roll bar in it.
You don't need one.
And well, not with the junk I got. It doesn't make enough power to twist anything. But and the rest is just, it's a 3-year saga.
Right.
And we needed a nice place, a track that I'd have confidence to run on. And then PDRA has a great safety crew. Martin's a great racetrack. So overall, that was a more lucrative and wise decision. So we went to that race with our small block in it just to test. And what happens is going to any event just to be there to make runs is, golly, that's just not where I came from. So since that deal, we've only let the clutch out 8 times in this car total. We've already come back and put the biggest thing that we have with carburetors in the car, and we're going to Mark's race with a 500-inch Hemi in it on Saturday.
Nice. Now, what is Mark's race? Which race is this? What class are y'all racing?
I don't know what he calls it. I really don't. Probably Pro Outlaw or something like that. Once again, it's so there used to be there were a lot of cars in this area here, sort of in the Midwest. And when times kept moving forward and getting faster and faster and faster, all these people had, normal jobs and can't go out and buy a, $200,000-$300,000 Bickle car.
Right.
So all these cars are sitting here, and Mark, he's a little bit older than I am. So he puts on a race every month, throws a little money in the pot. It's a one-day deal, and it was. I mean, he welcomes anybody, but it was primarily for the people here in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Alabama, Illinois area. Just have a place for them to all to go and race.
Yeah, sometimes those multi-day races, just by the time you're on the last day, it's just a butt kicker.
Yeah. We definitely were getting our asses kicked at Martin. We broke an engine and did the burnout the first run, did a burnout, and everything was great. It wouldn't back up. Well, one of us dingbats had pulled a wire off the shifter on the transmission. So,
oh no.
So I had no reverse. So I just sat there, and eventually they came and pushed me back. And then I was worried it may not shift, so I let the clutch out, ran through low gear a little bit. And that was it. We got that repaired. Made on our 4th hit. In fairness, I don't even know how many runs that engine had on it. I think I put rods in it in 2006. And it was the one that sat in a corner shivering at ADRL races because it was the last one to go in. It knew it was a sacrifice. So, most of the time when it ran, it got burned up.
Yeah.
And when we went to 419, which was the first qualifier at Martin, I broke actually 2 rods, the front 2 rods, which aren't those aren't a rod that I break in the small block. So it was just the rods were, I just way overused them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we changed engines. Well, like I told you, not every engine has been in this car. When we put that engine, the second engine in the car, we call it Blue Boy. It's named after our blue and gold macaw, Bubba. It'd never been in the car. And lo and behold, nothing on the oil system fit. I mean, nothing. So we had to take the oil system, oil pump, oil can lines off and totally remount them and replumb everything.
Just
at
to
the
get that
racetrack.
motor in there.
So we missed Q2 and got out there for the last qualifier. And, you know, quite honestly, I would have been pretty satisfied with the way we were running this thing. We weren't running it on kill like we used to at 80RL. We would have been really satisfied with a 430 something. Mm-hmm. And it went 413 flat. You know, the speed, it should have run like 161. I ran 173. So, you know, I don't know if tracks are just quicker nowadays or what the hell the deal
Flag
is.
getting with the program.
So, a couple of things. One of the things I didn't change since we got the car was the clutch pedal. The clutch pedal was flexing really bad. So we every time I put it on the two-step, the thing would take off. Mm-hmm. So we have come home. We've braced up the clutch pedal. Couldn't sit still at a 413. So we've put this old 500-inch Hemi junk in there, and haven't run one of those in almost 13 years. So yeah, it's another challenge, even though we haven't.
What are you legitimately looking at? 4.0s?
That would be good. 4.0s at Mark's races would be really fast.
Yeah.
4.0s at PDRA Pro Street, you're an also ran.
Right. Yeah, Fletcher kind of set everybody on their tail on that one.
Well, not just Fletcher, heck, all of them. You know, we all watch split times. Mm-hmm. You know, Fletcher's 382 got them a lead award.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he ran from the 330 to the 8th mile in 1.27, 1.26 or 7. And Ethan Stedding in the final ran from the 330 to the 8th mile in 1.21.
Oh, boy.
So, you know, I don't envy people who have to be the rules enforcers and changers and makers, because you're always making somebody unhappy.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I always tell Sears he's like the most unliked person.
Yeah, well,
you can't make anybody happy when you're controlling the rules.
It's you know, racing hasn't changed. It's just gotten a lot quicker. There's a lot more people that run fast. You know, if you have a really successful business and you're and you want to choose whatever drag racing, let's just say, as your what you're going to spend your money on, you can pretty well buy everything you need. You know, from cars to power sources to tuners. Mm-hmm. You can do it all. Where when back when Shannon and I started, we had the advantage because I grew up in drag racing and just knew how to get down tougher racetracks, and it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
When did you start racing?
100 years ago.
Personally, Shannon and I, we built our old beater car and we raced it in 1992. That was when we first went out.
Okay.
And we ran a Fun Ford event in what was called like Street Stang, I think, maybe something like that. Naturally aspirated, little bitty engines. The record was 11:20 something, 11:30 something. First time I ran it down the racetrack, we went 10:64. And Bill Alexander said, "Yeah, don't come back. You can't race this class anymore." So we put all of our 306-inch junk we found a crank. I think it was a 400 stroke crank. I made it a 347 and went to Bristol Fun Ford thinking we'd run the fast class on our 26-10-5 tires. And we went 979, I think, to qualify. Well, the fast cars were going 40s.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Ernie Wren was there from CompuCar. And Tim Matherly yells over to Ernie. He said, "Ernie, get him a plate." So Ernie brings me a plate, tells me how to jet it. We put it on this car, and it just hazes the tires all the way down the racetrack. I went 940, like a 949. And we're winning on hole shots. And we get to the finals, and Tim Matherly rolls some 12-inch Goodyears over, and he said, "Here, put these on." Well, they wouldn't fit. Well, the boy that was with us, his name was Jason Feasel. I handed him a great big old sledgehammer. I said, "Make them fit." And he's back there tapping on it. And I finally got all the stuff done on the engine. I went back there and I started beating on this. Well, the two panels, the inner panel and the outer panel, separate, which made it easier.
Right.
Well, I mean, I just beat the crap out of this thing. Got it to where those tires are going there, and it did this giant wheel stand, but we went 941 and beat, I think it was Ken Boomsman in the final. Beat him on a hole shot. He went at 40, I think. We went at 41. And that was the start of our competitive nitrous racing. We moved on to Mr. Gasket Challenge, and we raced that old beater car for 5 years and never lost.
Yeah.
And then when it started coming apart, I called it a Kentucky 4-link. What I did was I put slapper bars on it. I fish plated the bottom of the frame in the front, ran a bolt through the front of the slapper bar, put the pinion angle what I wanted it, and then welded the U-bolts to the housing. And I called it a Kentucky 4-link. And that old car, we did really good with it until it came apart. And then I crashed. And we got this old black car, and Lordy have mercy, million and a half miles or more later. And
what year did you get the black car?
The black car is sitting here in the back. We ran it. The last time we ran it was September 30th of 2023. We ran at Mark's race. We got to the final. We had to run against a guy named Stringer. He's got basically a blower pro mod car, and ran with him to almost 330. As soon as he blew by me, I pushed clutch in, and that was the end of it. We did do some tire testing for Mickey Thompson and Goodyear in 2021, 22, and the first 23.
That's when I was introduced to you.
And then we just stopped running that car.
Right.
I just got to be smarter.
I've been following you and your whole family since I was a little bitty kid, because Glidden and Shepherd and all those back in the day, those were the big time pro stock battles. And then Billy come along on his own and started rocking and rolling. And just like his dad and his mom, him and Shannon pretty well run everything on the car. So imagine if Shannon says that we're going to do this, then everybody's like, "Yes, ma'am."
Well, with this project, Mark is pretty well in the background, but he's the reason all this happened. We got a really good friend here in town. His name is Nick White. He has a company, IRT, Industrial Rubber Technology, and he's just a big fan of racing, period. But we became really good friends in the middle 2000 teens, middle to late 2000 teens, and he makes a lot of parts for us. He makes all of our oil system belts and pulleys, and any specialty thing that we need built or made, he'll do it. He's the guy that goes to the races right now, and when we get in a bit of a situation, he and Shannon are pretty excitable. So now I got two of them. I got to calm down. And Lordy have mercy. I'm too old for all that. Yeah.
You know, we live in a town where it's a Mustang town, and I was always an F-body guy, so I'm a GM guy. But back in our, it's probably late '90s, early 2000s, Texas Mustang Parts was really big, and then Shannon Kandarian left there and opened Late Model Restoration Supply, and all the guys that worked there and ran around that crew, remember, you'd walk in their house, there was always, you know, this is back in the magazine days, you would walk in there and there'd be a Fast Forward, you know, or Mustangs and Fast Forward, or whatever it was, the magazines. And I can't remember how many times I've seen you, you know, on the front cover. And to those guys, you were like God. Oh,
Yeah.
it's Billy Glidden, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why I first heard your name. I was more into street racing than I was following anything else, but the Mustang guys here in town was really knowledgeable in that area.
Yeah, not me. I was more the NHRA, IHRA kind of. That's how I grew up.
And of course, I can't remember anything. Like you just spurted off names like you talked to him yesterday from when we first started racing, and I'm thinking, holy crap, this guy remembers everything. You know?
Well, you know, it's been growing up in the shadow of Dad was. I didn't really think of it as a shadow. It just I was used to winning. I was used to having to work a lot. So that's what I did. You know, that's what we did. We just worked at it really hard, and we had a lot of good luck. I suppose the name helped us just because no one was ever real sure how we could or couldn't run.
Right. They knew to take you serious whenever you showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
but-
maybe not at first, but then he started laying down passes, and they're like, "Uh-oh."
So we went to a Ford versus Buicks, and we were still naturally aspirated. And I think this may have been one of the first things Shannon had really gone to, and she had gotten a camera. She had a video camera. And we got the video somewhere. And I don't know if I was under it or in it or somewhere, but she's standing there filming this car, and these two guys walk by, and they, you know, they weren't real friendly. I mean, and it did look like a big, you know, we call it the beater car for a reason. It was a rough looking ride. And these fellas, they just badmouthed and, oh my goodness, and blah, 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 blah. Well, we go out there and we're the second quickest car of the Fords, and pretty close to the quickest. So they come back. The same guys are like, well, I got to look at this a little closer. What's going on here? It had J302 heads and, you know, a junkyard block. You know, the blocks used to break all the time. They'll break from the cam, from the cam tunnel all the way up the main, you know, all the way up a cylinder. And you know, sometimes we'd break a block, we'd go to the junkyard and find another one, put the engine together, and it'd break the first run. So what I did was I took 2x4s and built us a little stand, and we put that engine on the stand in my driveway, because working here, you know, I wasn't allowed to have any, if there was anything involved with my racing period in my car, when I drove in the driveway here at the shop, I was fired unconditionally.
Oh gosh, he wanted you focused on his program, huh?
So we didn't work on anything here at all. It was all at the house. And I got tired of going to a racetrack and breaking the first run. So what I did was I made this stand and didn't have a fuel pump, an extra fuel pump. So I took a 5-gallon jug and drilled it and screwed number 6 fittings in the bottom of it, made a stand for the jug to be up over the engine. That was my fuel pump. I'd start this rascal up out in the driveway, and I put the I put a high chip. It was just the little plug-in chips back then. I'd put a 94 chip in there, and I just put it up against that chip and hold it for 5 seconds. I'd do that 5 or 6 times. If it made it through that, then we put it in the car.
Now, what was correct me if I'm wrong, but horsepower wise, those blocks seem to split around the 600 horsepower mark.
I have no idea.
You know?
You know, when it comes to old cars, history of engines, that stuff, I was right in the middle of this, so I didn't care. You know, when the oil needs to get changed in our Escape right now, I don't do anything. Shannon does that.
Yeah.
You know, I was just never into old cars. I'm never into cars, street cars. I've never been to I need to word this exactly right. I've never been to a street race, and I've never street raced in my life, ever. However, when we sold we had 2 903 Hemi engines that Sonny's had done. I sold those to that fella named, his slang is Chuck 55.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We sold those 2 engines to him. We had to take them to Oklahoma. Well, this guy basically kidnapped us. He gave me part of the money.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, no, I need you to help me," and blah, blah, blah. Well, we ended up going to, this was a couple years into their Street Outlaws taping and all that stuff. We ended up going out there, what the heck ever, midnight to one of those deals. But other than that, I've never been to a street race, or, you know, that's how my dad became famous.
Yep. I remember whenever you
was
those
street racing.
Your dad came famous street racing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people came from 1,500 miles to race against Bob Glidden.
Oh wow. And
then Shannon's dad, as it turns out, Shannon's dad was in that scene way back then as well. So our families had history in racing.
When did you and Shannon meet? Because you guys have been together how long now?
36 years.
36 years. That's a hell of an accomplishment.
Yep.
Congratulations.
My brother had a little boy named Brandon. The first gal I was with, I had divorced, and Brandon was living with me a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'd take him home at night and bring him here to the shop. I played basketball back then a lot. I was okay at basketball, and I went to a league game in Greenwood, and she was one of the scorekeepers. Well, her story is when she was in the 8th grade, she watched me play basketball.
Okay.
And told her mother that that's the man she was going to marry when she was in the 8th grade. Well, however many years later, some woman comes up and says, "Hey, I got a gal wants to meet you." And I go over and we were introduced. And it didn't go anything from right there. I was looking for a place to play basketball, you know, late night basketball somewhere. So I called her house to talk to her father, and he ends up giving her the phone. And next thing you know, she challenges me to a basketball game. Lordy have mercy. So I spotted her 22 points going to 24 by 1. She didn't score, but you know, I didn't do I won't play checkers to lose. You know, I play basketball, even against a girl, I'm trying to win. And she's a beautiful blonde gal, and I'd step on her feet and pull her shorts down, snap her bra, and had her all frustrated so she couldn't do anything anyway. So I won, and so that means I had to pay for the Pepsi. So we walked down to a ice cream place, got a Pepsi, and from there, I've been stuck with her since.
Apparently, she just walked by.
She did.
You just stopped, and you was like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
And you know,
her and the bird.
A friend of mine used to have a saying in the trailer that said, "A family that races together stays together." And you guys are a great example of that.
Well, we had stopped racing, and she kept carrying on about how the racing was all she knew. It was what put organization in her life, and she wanted to go racing. She wanted to race some more. So this car started, and it's just been, oh my goodness, it's been one heck of a challenge. And now she's got more than, I keep asking her, so how much fun are you having? So the first IHRA race, we heard they were testing at Killcare.
Yeah.
So we got this car done, and we're looking for a place to run it. Now you got to keep in mind, our rig hasn't moved much, and the trailer, I unhooked it from the toter home, and it sat for over 2 years and never moved. Now the tires don't have much time on them.
Yeah.
The tires on the toter home don't have much time on them, but they've sat outside.
Yep.
So we're on our way to Killcare, which is 140 miles, and thank goodness Nick was following us. And we're about 40 miles from the racetrack, and the back passenger tire blows. So I go back there, and I'm looking under the trailer. Well, when the back tire blew, well, then the airbag is dragging the ground. And as I'm pulling my face out, that airbag blew up. So we got all that done and got back on the road, and we got there, but with the stuff that we had to do, setting up and just driving the car down, just driving it, just, see what the steering wheel's like. And we only had about 45 minutes left, and I wasn't going to pay a day's rent to do a burnout and let the clutch out. So we didn't run the first day, and the second day we made 3 attempts, but in fairness to everybody that was there, it was hot and it was pretty challenging. Nobody really got their back tires as far as the 60 foot. Well, our second hit, we went 993, and the third hit, we went 983. And I figured, better not push it. That's good. So we stopped, got everything loaded, and she walks up. I'm standing in the doorway, and she walks up to me, and she says, "So how'd the test go?" All chipper, and because everything was pretty good. And I said, "Well, we're not home yet." So we get back on the road, and we're just about where we blew the first tire and blew the front passenger tire on the trailer. Ooh. Well, the other 2 tires held the trailer up high enough it didn't get the airbag, so we got that tire changed pretty fast, but we are now out of trailer spares. We get back on the road, we went 10, 12 miles maybe, and the front passenger toter home tire blew. And fastest we've gone on this trip is 63, and we're cruising at 59. Lordy have mercy. So now the front of the truck's basically down on the ground.
Drive tire.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is horrible. Well, we used Nick's. We certainly didn't have a drive, front steer tire, but we had one in the shed on a wheel. So we used Nick's dually and came home and got it. Got back to the rig at about 1 a.m. Got it on. Nick had stayed with the rig and got it up in the air and had all the stuff cut off. And I set the cruise at 44, and it was rainy, so that kept the tires cooler, I guess. And so 44 or less, 110 miles. We got home. I called Mark and said, "Hey, we're out of commission." And end of the week, Friday night, he shows up with tires for this whole mess. So we got tires on it, but when we had gotten back to the rig, you got that front tire on, we're back on the road, and, she peed a little bit when that steer tire blew. And I said, "So how's testing going?" Testing isn't just at the racetrack. It's from the time you get in that rig until you get back home. And
yeah, there's a lot that can go on from there to there.
Yeah, my gosh. So lo and behold, we got all new tires. We start heading to Martin, and a brand new tire on the trailer started delaminating on the way 80 miles from home.
Oh, wow.
But we had one spare. I'm figuring, well, we don't need a bunch of spares. I mean, surely we can go 600 miles on new tires. I was wrong. We got 80 miles on one of them, put on the one old spare we had mounted, and that was the coolest running tire on the whole rig. So we got another spare, and we're gonna go to Ohio Valley on Saturday and
be ready to go.
See, well, I don't know about ready to go. We're starting with this Hemi,
Right.
and like you said, right now the way I've got it sitting, a 430 something would be really, really good because I got one little bitty stage on it. That's all we're going to start off with, and there's just no sense in pushing everything until we get some time on all this,
Right.
Yeah.
and on us too.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I have a few questions for you before we have to jump off of here.
Sure.
All right. So first of all, what's your most memorable moment racing?
The one that comes into my head right away is when Shannon and I won Englishtown 2015 in HRA Pro Mod.
What made it so memorable?
Well, that's supposed to be the pinnacle. I mean, we all look at NHRA racing as the pinnacle of racing, and her and I had worked so hard. We didn't belong in Pro Mod. That was the ultimatum I was given from the people in the corner office. Mickey Thompson, he was actually the guy from Cooper, said we had to run Pro Mod or else. So we started racing Pro Mod, and that was really tough. Her and I worked really, really hard. And, you ever get a chance, type in Billy Glidden, Donnie Walsh, Summer Nationals, and look at her, look at her emotion
That says it
after
all.
we had won the race. It's pretty awesome.
After this, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's talk about, and I know this is with your memory, we're fixing to see just how good it is. Can you list off a lot of your winnings?
We ain't got that kind of time, boss.
It's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
I'll tell you this: in 2002, we won 35 of 37 events we went to.
Jeez.
In 2002 alone.
Right?
So no,
Keep you going.
we won the first 5 years and never lost.
He's over got him an
That's
abacus
awesome.
moving beads.
We got trophies all over this place, and she always wanted trophies. I wanted the money for the trophy.
Right.
I would
Yeah.
always ask her, how much did the trophy cost? Well, give us that and you keep the trophy. And she wanted the trophies. Now that we're older, she says, I wish we had all the money for these trophies.
Do y'all still have all the trophies? Do y'all keep them?
Oh yeah, she kept them.
Yep.
Yep.
Y'all do-
Those and all the giant checks, those giant piece of junk checks they would give you. And oh yeah, she's got stuff everywhere, pictures.
I think he just gave you a dig at your giant fake checks that you're giving out.
My daughter, this is a true story. About 2 years ago, my daughter said, Dad, you've been doing this a long time. You don't have not one trophy. I'm like, thanks.
We don't have one trophy either.
You got a bunch.
Our garage, we built shells. We've got most whatever was left of the trophies, all the Wallies and Ironmen and AHRA races and specialty stuff. All the stuff from Dad's days are out in our garage.
Yeah,
So we still got most of that junk too.
that's awesome.
Those will be worth a mint to some people.
Yes, I walked into Rear Morrison yesterday, and I love walking in there because all the Wallies are like right there in the entryway.
I've got 2 Wallies, but
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon sent me that picture and he's like, just a couple more than I got.
We won in Pro Mod. We actually won 2 of those. In stock, we running class and stock eliminator. We won, I don't know, three or so of those. I got lots of specialty, back when they used to give out the awards for crew chief or engine builder and that kind of stuff. We've got several of those, but those things to me are like pictures. You can look at it and remember something, but it doesn't pay any bills.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a representation of accomplishments of hard work, though. The money comes and goes, but like you said, you can look at that and see the memory. In your mind, you're going to be able to look at that just like you remembered Shannon's emotions on that win. Like it's a look back of everything you've achieved and the ups, the downs, the hard work.
The good thing about my racing is all of my accomplishments were with my wife, with Shannon. All of them. So
there's not many people in this world that can say that.
no, that's true. And for the most part, it's just been her and I, I had two different times I let somebody work here, and that didn't work out very good. I move at a little different pace than other people, and my tolerance for stupidity is not very high.
You don't like the nonsense. Huh?
I'll do enough stupid for everybody. Everybody else needs to not do anything stupid.
Now, out of all the types of racing you've done, what's been your favorite type of racing? Favorite class?
I guess the 10.5 stuff, because that's where we had, that's where we made our mark, was all the 10.5 stuff, Super Street. And, the ADRL was the ADRL racing. So how that actually happened was we were designing a big tire for Pro Stock with Mickey Thompson. And we were about 8 months into it, and we'd actually hit on something. And we were, we would go to all the testing where the Pro Stock cars were, and Goodyear would be there a lot also. Well, 8 months in, we went from a little over a tenth behind to we were actually a few thousandths quicker at the quarter mile.
And Goodyear said, no.
3 days later, NHRA announced that Goodyear was the official and only tire for Pro Stock.
Locked themselves their way in.
Yep.
So at that time, ADRL was starting to become something. And Hoosier Tire was putting a 10.5 designation on tires that weren't 10.5 tires.
As long as it's stamped.
Oh, wow.
So Mickey Thompson had lost almost all of their 10.5 business.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out how we can keep our job.
Right.
So I said, well, why don't we put all my small block stuff in this Pro Stock car and go get our 10.5 business back from what's going on at ADRL.
Right.
And we went there and, in short order, we were at the top, and we were having some success, and got them to put a rule size on tires. So it could roll out 105 inches, and like 11.5 was the widest the tire could be. And so they went from having just a few percent to having 100% business again. And then that turned into, well, let's do a big tire of some sort. And we ended up with the Bubba tire. And that tire was actually named after our bird, Bubba.
Really? I didn't know that.
And then it became the Bubba Grande, a bigger tire yet. And, the Bubba Grande are the tires that we won Pro Mod races, NHRA Pro Mod races with on our Nitrous car, and then a turbo car.
Yep.
I tell everybody that Mickey Thompson is my uncle, and those are my tires. I don't play with the other ones.
His last name is Thompson, by the way.
Yeah.
So, wow. So you're back. We had a pause. We're back. And what's our target now?
We don't have a game plan really. It's Mark's races primarily.
Yeah.
There are some people a little bit, I'll say, excited or enthused about it. We'd have to have something totally different than what we got to be competitive at 10.5 racing today.
Right.
So I don't know. We just need to get a little more time with this car. We don't tire test, and we don't race any circuits. We don't chase stuff very much. So we're just going to go at it at a pace that we can manage. And what the future brings, I'm not sure. I mean, Ferry Guide sponsor falls out of the air, and somebody says, "Hey, I got a whole bunch of money here. Go do something." That could change, but Yeah, they're not lined up out in front of the shop here, I can tell you.
Well,
It's tough times.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was any interest in the IHRA revitalization. It seems, scuttlebutt and everything is everybody's really enjoying going to it. They're taking care of folks kind of maybe the way it should be as opposed to the way it is now.
I don't hear anything bad about all that, but I'm a realist. We don't really have anything in a heads up category that fits anything they have right now.
No interest in like Top Sportsman or anything like that. It seems like that would fit your wheelhouse pretty good.
It would, but full tree racing and intentionally having to drive the finish line, I don't know. It isn't that I couldn't do it. So the first time I ever raced was with it was the Project 5.0 car, or Project 5.0 car of Ford. I ran it at Milan, Michigan. Dad had a book race there, and we went up there, and it was like 114 cars, and I got runner up. First time I ever raced, and it was bracket stuff. And I ran it one other time at Muncie. There were 92 cars, and I got down to 3 cars.
You can do it. See,
I ran stock and I ran comp, but yeah, I don't know.
It's just not your fave.
I have myself in this.
It would be pretty neat to see Glidden in a factory experimental car.
I had opportunities. I just, anytime I've driven for somebody, it hasn't worked out very well. Somehow we always end up, we raced that turbo car. We won 3 of the 5 races that we went to, and somehow we were still a problem. So I have steered clear
And work for a boss.
of racing with other folks.
Right. So obviously people notice your back, because I sent you the screenshot of the guy that texted me and said, "Have you seen this?" And I texted Billy and I said, "I heard your back."
He was back for one race.
I don't have social media. I don't have. I mean, there have been people that actually put mine and Shannon's picture and have a Facebook site, but that's not me. I've never had. I don't do it.
And
I don't have any of that stuff.
You're at peace, because social media is hell.
Yes.
Internet in general is.
Yeah.
That's the devil.
Shannon discovered it before I knew even about it.
Right.
And she's a pretty flighty, emotional gal. And I come up front one day and I wondered why she was always on the computer.
Yeah.
She's up here crying. She's up here crying. And why do the people hate you so much? And I said, well, it's because we win.
Yep.
Well, as it turns out, she'd been on the internet.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That was back in the 90s.
That was back in the late 90s. And yeah,
That's where the bravest people live.
I took all that stuff and threw it on the floor with some exuberance. So there was no more internet here. So
Her and my wife would do well together. My wife is very territorial about how people treat me. I have to remind her that we have to be nice, and she tells me she doesn't work for me, and she has her own job, and I can't control her. That's what she tells me, because she's a tiger.
And we're all scared of her.
well, this is our job, and I told Shannon a long time ago we can only have one boss, and I get to be it.
Right. Okay.
You've heard the saying of you don't have to be smart or anything else, you just have to be the asshole. So that's me.
Well,
that doesn't work for me,
because
because
role is it's worked for 36 years, so stick to it.
I tried being the asshole and I get in trouble for it.
Well, I'm not saying she doesn't get bent out of shape or moody or a little tougher to deal with. Just all I got to say is, all right, here, you drive the car. All right, we're done. So, this car, we intentionally tried to build this car as light as we could build it. Just that gets people's blood pressure up. I mean, just that.
Right.
And so at PDRA with a small block, we don't have a minimum. And after we made the 413 run, when she gets down there, she's yelling, "We got to weigh, we got to weigh." And I said, "No, we don't have a minimum. We don't have to weigh."
Yeah.
Well, so she's the one sitting in the car, and obviously she's quite a bit lighter than me. And she drives across the damn scales.
Oh no.
And next thing you know is everybody's carrying on about, well, I should let her drive the car. She doesn't like that idea.
No.
However, she has ridden in a car with me at a racetrack. She has actually been 979 60 foot and 975 60 foot. Make 2 attempts with her in a car with me. Mm-hmm. And she's been 979 and 975 in the passenger side of a car on 10.5s.
What's your thing?
And that was 2009.
Has she ever wanted to make a hit?
So when I got involved with Edelbrock, we did a Billy Bullet project engine. Mm-hmm. And I felt the only way to prove ourselves was to put it in a car. So we actually got a car and built a car. And they had sent me an engine and asked me to make it better than this. Well, on my dyno, it only made like 330 horsepower. So I figured, all right, well, I'll do some modifications and it'll make 400, and that'll be a 11-second car. And I think after a few attempts, she'd be okay with it. Well, when I got done with it, it made a little over 600. And I bailed on the idea of her being in a race car. And it did. It went 999, the first run it ever made. And I wasn't driving it. So when you're 24/7,
yeah,
and she's around like she is, she gets confident in things that she sees and has a feeling that she knows about things that she doesn't. And once upon a time, she said, "Just because I'm not in there doesn't mean I don't know what's going on." And I said, "That's absolutely what that means." So we had this track we were going to do testing, and I came out here late one night and I welded all the tabs for a seat, made a seat. The problem with the seat, it was low back. Mm-hmm. It only came up to like not even her shoulder, to the top of her shoulders. And I made a mount on the front of the car to take the nitrous bottle from in the passenger side to where it actually slid in a little bracket right up by the fuel cell on the front of the car. Mm-hmm. And I put all this stuff in a box and told her she was not allowed to look in that box. We go to this test, and it's the first day, and we've made, 15, 18 runs. And the sun's not down, but it's almost down. And we're at a racetrack where we're pitted at the top of the staging lanes, and it's downhill all the way to the racetrack. So we're all getting back, and everybody's kind of, so they all fought the last run. And I said, "Oh no, get that thing up in the air. Everybody do your jobs." So, her and I, and at this time, Kenny Perry, my PGA golf friend, was there. I was going to let him drive the car. And then another guy who will remain unnamed was going to let him drive the car. But since it was almost dark, I said, "Here, put on Kenny's suit." It's a black suit and a black helmet, but red shoes. I said, "You put this on." And I go and get this box, and I come out, and I got an impact, and I bolt this seat in. I put all the belts in, same belts I've got.
Yep.
The only thing I had was, for the headrest, I had welded this piece of 090 aluminum. I figured that'd be good enough. And they're all whispering, "What's he doing? What's he doing?" And nobody knew. I told her, "Go put on Kenny's driving suit and get his helmet and his shoes." So we got the car on the ground. I said, get in there. And she got in. I strapped her in, put the helmet on, and I said, now, I said to a guy, all right, I'm going to roll down the hill and pull in the water. And I said, you stop me, and I'll make a run. And they really won't know that there's somebody in the car because it's almost dark and she's in this dark outfit. So I could do this.
Right.
And, I'm trying to give her some excitement also. I mean, we love rides at like Universal and Disney and those places.
Right.
So I did a really long burnout, and I'd like to, I don't know if I can get this. So I do this long burnout. We're rolling past the 330 and she's in there doing this right here. And I'm thinking, man, you have no idea. And I had just told her before, I said, now make sure when I stage to have your head against that headrest.
Right.
And I'm thinking with her on the right side of the car, it might want to go left, with more weight on the right rear.
Right.
So as I'm staging, I point the car to the right a little bit, put on the two-step, and I'm expecting it to bog or something. Man, this thing shot out of there. I mean, it's just playing. Well, 979. And got it into second gear, and it had only slightly gone right. So I'm making a pretty straight run. I get into third gear, and I peek over, and she's over there. Her head's all the way back, like she has bent this thing back. And she's got both hands in her helmet trying to pull her head down. I push clutch in and, shut it off and got the chute out, and we're slowing down, and she goes, oh, man, I didn't get to see anything. So we pull back.
Do it again.
Pull back. And the people at the racetrack were like, that was awesome. That was great. Blah, 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 blah. So 2 days later, I had made a brace for that seat that I bent it back up and made a brace for it. Said at the end of the test, we'll do it again. So we're in the car, and, this time we don't have to hide. And she says, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch that. And I'm going to watch this. And I said, Shannon, you blink your eyes twice and it's over. So, and it made another, it went 975, went 975, like, went 270, 272, I think, to the 330. Went 425, and I ran it just past the 8th and pushed the clutch in, and went 708, 150. And she was really excited. She says, that was so awesome. That was so awesome. We get out. She says, can we go do it again? No, we better not push our luck.
Yeah.
But ever since then, she has said, yeah, I'm okay where I'm at. I don't need any part of that.
So as many laps as you've made and as quick as you're going, doesn't it slow down for you?
Well, it slowed down. Slowed down, yes, but I went, we stopped racing.
No, I mean like time. When you're making a good hit and everything is just smooth and you're 975 and you're trucking along there, but doesn't it just kind of slow down on that pass?
He's talking about like in your head wise.
So when it feels fast, it's not. When the car is real smooth and the engine, but you can hear and feel the engine revving really fast. That's how I drive. I drive by sound and feel. The slow runs feel slow, but they're really good. Like the 413 run the other night, you got to keep in mind. So the black car runs low 1.0s, and from a 101 to a 968 that's just massive difference.
Right.
Massive. So right now for me, in a different car, sitting in it different, this car's pretty small. Things aren't comfortable. Let's just say it. They're not as slow as like what you're trying to, after you've made lots of runs. Yes. It just feels like,
Yeah, just
You know.
Sunday drive.
Yes, just eating. It's just like picking up a fork.
Yeah.
But when you haven't done it for a while, and you don't like I don't speed. Like when we drive I do all the driving. I use the cruise control even like in front of the high school. I set it at 21. Driving down the road here, it's 40 miles per hour. I set it at 40.
Right.
Driving down the highway, the speed limit's 65. I'm going 65. With the rig, I run 60. I don't get in a hurry. Used to, back when we had our dually and we were racing 35, 37 times a year. However fast we could get there is how fast we'd get there.
They were eastbound and down.
That's my problem right now.
Yeah, that's
And,
Dave.
That's a lot of blowouts is what that is.
Well, when you start having a lot of blowouts, you notice all the tires on the side of the road too. Golly, it's a mess. And just like our race car, we used to carry everything but the shop. Now I tried to take everything that we don't need in the trailer out of it.
Right.
Just to try to make it load, make
Extra
the load
weight on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and just being on the side of the road does not.
No.
That thought just sucks.
Yeah. Dave needs a trailer tire sponsor.
I need an everything sponsor.
Yeah. Every time he goes to an event and they take off in the trailer, it comes back and it's got a different tire on
It's
it.
because I'm doing like 95 and it's just
Well,
these tires
yeah, you're not. You'll get a little older.
Well, I've started now. I'm tired of this. We're tearing too much shit.
No, he ain't.
I'm gonna go somewhere.
He just did it this year already.
No,
Yeah. Going to Ennis.
no. I bought that trailer and I didn't have the axles and the brakes done, and I should have. And
Oh, yeah. It spit that one off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, we do all that ourselves. Oh, happy day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We live the full experience. We don't just do part of it. Toilet breaks, we fix the toilet. We put all these lights up in here. Mark got us these lights, got us LED lights. He came here once and all the lights in the shop were off. And the only lights that come on are the ones that the room I walk in, and the rest of them go off. And he says, "What do you do that for?" I'm trying to save money.
right.
Electric bill.
So he got us LED lights. So
Nice.
when he brought them, we put all the LED, took all the old stuff. They'd been up, all that stuff had been up in here since 1973.
Yeah. And the
even
difference
took
between those
basketball
LED lights is just amazing.
Yes.
We even took the basketball goal down in the back so that we could
Oh, no.
make a little more cabinet room in the back to move things out of the way. And, I'm a pack rat. I don't get rid of anything. And when I use it, I say, see, this is why I didn't get rid of it. might be 15 years later, but
I'm going to need this part.
exactly. That's the way we are.
It's my dad.
So I got to ask you one more question. We got to wrap this up, but what is the fastest you've been?
Went 577 with our Nitrous deal in 2018 at Orlando.
Okay.
Didn't run it through. It was the end of my, that was the last race of my fuel injection stuff. And I'd finally said, I can't burn it up worse than I've burned it up. So I changed the entire thing. I wrote my own map and changed all the fuel stuff. Fuel injection stuff just, it made me stupid, more stupid. I quit thinking on my own and tried to do everybody else's stuff. And finally there at the end, I said, I'm not going to do it like that. And we made about 1,000-foot run and went 577. Speed wise, 261 a couple of times in the turbo car
That's moving.
at Martin, Michigan.
That's getting with the program.
Well, I've never been that fast.
No.
Or anywhere close to it. So, definitely tell Shannon we said hi.
Yep.
So,
The guys say hi, Shannon. There you go.
I look forward to seeing y'all again in person
Yes.
sometime soon. So,
Yes, it's pretty cool seeing Billy Glidden back out there.
yeah.
Well, thank you, fellas. Thank you for your invite here, and we'll look for you. I want you to be in this line that's forming for sponsorship out here in front of the shop.
I get it. I'm definitely following y'all's results.
Going down to the Tasty Freeze and getting free cheeseburgers and fries.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, fellas. Are you done with me?
Yes, sir.
We are. We actually went over, so we did good, but I enjoyed talking to you. So,
Well, thank you so very much.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
so I was looking forward to today's podcast. Last week, maybe the week before, I got a text message that said, "Hey, did you see Billy's back out?" And it was a screenshot of the Beretta and what it ran. And I'm thinking, that's not a Mustang.
Nope.
Right? And so I text Billy and I said, "Hey, look at this text message I just got." And so, at Christmas, he sends me Merry Christmas and I send him Merry Christmas. And we touch base probably every, I'm going to say 5-6 months, just to, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And so I sent him that and I said, "What are you doing?" So then he started filling me in and we were just casually talking and I was eating dinner with my wife and Lisa asked me, "Well, who's Billy Glidden?" So I chat GPT'd it. I said, "Here, read this." And then I screenshot that and I sent it to Billy. And Billy's like, "Man, that's pretty dead on."
Yeah.
So if you guys really want to know about who is Billy Glidden, if you don't know and you've lived underneath a rock or you're just new to this industry, a youngster, go to ChatGPT and type in "who's Billy Glidden," and it will give you a awesome and accurate summary. And the reason why I say accurate is because Billy approved it himself.
Well, I mean, it's you mentioned it right there. If you're a youngster that's coming on, Billy Glidden was early 2000s.
I mean, he dominated.
Yeah.
He dominated. I don't care if you walked into somebody's house and they had a Hot Rod magazine on the front.
Mm-hmm.
On the
There was
coffee
that Mickey
table.
Thompson Mustang.
Yes, Billy was there.
10.5.
And I met him. Oh gosh, Tom Kundrick at the time worked at Mickey Thompson. He's over at Pro Torque now. But Tom introduced me to him because they were doing the tire program with Mickey Thompson. And Tom said, "Billy is the type of guy that gets rid of nothing, like he just said.
Yeah.
And he can make anything he has work."
Yep.
And so Billy was just working with really dated equipment, and
I think he has all along, though. Really,
he's always has.
Yeah.
Billy also don't ask for nothing.
Nope.
Unless he really, really needs it, he may say, "Well," and you have to ask him.
he'll beat around the bush.
No, and it really, he don't ask for anything. But like Tom's like, "Hey, ask him what he needs," and I'm like, "Hey, what do you need?" And I can't even remember what or if we gave him anything, but we became friends. And he had a flip phone, and he was really hard to communicate with. Like I'd say, "Send me a picture of this." He was doing something on, and he's very knowledgeable Nitrous wise. He's always made his own spray bars and all this stuff, and but he couldn't send me a picture because he had a flip phone, and he ended up taking a role which he said didn't work out, driving a turbo car, and that person made him update to a iPhone. And then Billy's like, "Hey, I can send pictures now."
This iPhone is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to tell you why. I asked Billy, and he goes, "Well, that stuff costs money that we could be racing with." And so him and his wife, like they would only run certain parts of the air conditioner or the electricity, like he was saying with the lights. They made do with whatever they had to go racing.
Right.
That's they didn't treat themselves to things that we take for granted every day by leaving the lights on in the kitchen. And
I think a lot of that goes back to his dad because they always ran but back then there was no corporate sponsors back then.
Right.
It was these guys were out of their own pocket and all this stuff. And Billy's kind of a throwback to that era. But it would be so cool to see Glidden in a factory experimental car.
That would be
it's
cool.
like this. It's like what Pro Stock was, but just modern.
The experience and the skill he has is top of the line. But not only that, he's not just a driver. He's a tuner. He's a wrench.
Yeah,
He's a full meal deal.
He's not a dummy.
Right. And so that makes him very effective. But also he's a stamp in history.
Mm-hmm.
He's earned his spot. And so it's It was kind of cool to tell my wife who is because she knows nothing about the racing
Right.
side.
Yeah. Neither does my foreman.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
but I'm like, no, you got to hear this. And so, but you see how, is the word modest,
Humble.
humble, just down to earth, just,
Yeah.
we do that. Ask him how many.
But he's
he
also
has.
no nonsense.
Yeah, no, he is.
You know, I mean, he knows what he
ChatGPT
wants.
says that he was a no nonsense.
Yeah. He knows what he wants and he knows how to get it. And
Yes.
that's just what he does.
But he's a good dude, and
Yep.
that was cool to have him on the show today. Anyways, make sure you give us a like, a follow, a share on
And
all of our social media pages.
what do we got coming up in September?
In September, Big Jake's race.
Yeah, but what do we got
Clash of
coming
the
up?
Titans
Yeah.
at Hood to Hood.
Yes.
So this is going to be our biggest one yet.
There are some
September 18th and
quality
19th.
cars.
And we're doing private test rental, which I believe we determined was $250 a car the day before.
Yeah, on Thursday.
So so if you're interested in jumping into the private rental the day before the race, reach out to Eric Micklin, or you can reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with him.
McClellan. Yeah.
Like McLennan County. No,
McClelland. Eric McClellan.
can't say it.
2 for 40.
Oh, yeah.
Your choice?
Is it only these two shirts?
Really?
Oh, it's any shirt. Really?
And you can get the nice, pretty red, also available in blue.
Oh, we got Be
Huffy
Nice.
on the back.
Hey, did you know that the Be Nice shirts glow in the dark?
Yes, there's a couple others that the line actually glows too.
Yeah, so like if you're committing a crime and
Don't
trying
wear
to
that one.
run, don't wear it.
Because if you're committing a crime, that's not being nice.
Yeah, that's right. That's definitely not being nice, right? Or you could get, look, you're wearing the new shirt.
Yeah. Yep. I got the brandy new one.
Here, stand up, model it for us.
Oh, got the nice, pretty nitrous outlet on the front, and then on the back,
Yeah, it says,
whack the throttle. and
whack the
drain
throttle,
bottle.
empty the bottle, and it's got a Nova.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. Is that sale on our website? Or did you just make this up? Oh, it's on our website. Awesome. Good job.
Yeah. 2
So-
for 40, mix and
There
match.
you go. Go to nitrousOutlet.com. Pick any two shirts you like. 2 for 40.
.com.
And don't forget to like, share at the Nitrous Outlet, YouTube, Facebook,
Yeah, give us a follow.
Instagram,
Spotify,
Skippy Dippy.
X, Tiki Talkie.
Yeah, all those. And you know, we've been when we registered Flow Supply, meth heads, and all that stuff, but we don't work it. We just work the other ones. And Aaron is about to start working those pages as well. We're going to triple his work.
Good.
Yeah, so it's about time. They're organically growing on their own, so we can start working them. So go check those out as well. And
Absolutely.
we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.